really don't know how to start this video. I could say I've been away for so long. I could just come up with excuses, but instead, just grab yourself a cup of tea because this is going to be a long video. So, hello everyone. Yes, nearly 3 months since I made a video on this channel. It's a while. But what a better time for a Ramblings video in this festive season. So, let me give you a bit of life advice first. I know, not even 5 minutes into this video and we're already giving out life tips. University. Everyone makes out university is such this amazing thing. It's a place where you experience so much and you grow and develop and all kinds of other bullshit. Reality, people, is that it's not. It's far from it. I mean, I never believed that in the first place, but I thought it was at least going to be fun. Yeah. So yes, if you've got a choice to go to university or get a job, try and go for the work experience aspect of a job, because, yeah, university is fun. Anyway, let's get on to something we all want to talk about. Let's just talk about cool shit for a change. So, because I've been busy with university over the past couple of months, I have found myself delving into areas that I thought I wouldn't. One such area, nice cup of tea. One such area is a franchise that I have kind of got into hard. I mean, I'm kind of addicted to it now. But don't tell Brad that, because otherwise he'll just see it as a victory, you know. I am, of course, talking about Mobile Suit Gundam. Yes, I'm sure everyone's heard of Gundam. I'm pretty sure that not that a lot of people have actually seen a Gundam series. Because A, they are very long. Your typical Gundam series is 24 episodes plus. And plus, there is a lot to Gundam. It has a hell of a lot of rich back history and lore, and hell, even every single mobile suit has their own history and their own development, and they've got prototypes, and it's massive, the universe, and for someone new to try and get into that, it's a bit overwhelming. However, last year, if you remember, I made a Ramblings a couple of months before this, and I showed off this. The Hygog, the high-grade Universal Century Hygog, which I had found because of Amazon's recommendation lists and wondered what it was, and that was kind of my first foray into Gundam. And I got it thinking that I was going to build it. Yeah, it turns out that it sat on this table for about a year, nearly a year, before I actually even decided to build it. And that was only because I rediscovered Gundam, thanks to some music videos on YouTube. So I was watching this one particular YouTube video, and it had this really quite cool song on it, and I was wondering, what's all this bizarre but beautifully looking animated mechas fighting? What could this possibly be? This can't be Gundam. Gundam came out in the 70s. It can't look this good, surely. And then it turns out it was Gundam. The one thing in the video that particularly caught my eye was a certain mobile suit, which at the time I didn't know it, but it was actually the Goof Ignited, which any Gundam fan out there is probably screaming into the camera now, yes, it was Gundam Seed. It was a clip from Gundam Seed. It was a quite spectacular fight scene. And I was kind of blown away by it, because I never thought Gundam could look this good. Naive old me, of course. So I did a bit of research into it, found out that it was a sequel series to Gundam Seed. And I was really interested in watching Gundam Seed. I looked up some reviews that evening, and the more I kind of discovered about it, listened to the opening theme, kind of watched more reviews, the more I wanted to watch it. So that evening I thought, what the hell, I might as well go and watch it. I've got nothing else to do. It's something to pass over the time, you know, in your free time. And let me tell you, people, if you're ever thinking of watching a Gundam series, please, please, please don't think too badly of illegal sites. You know the kind I'm talking about, the kind me and you go on each day, you know? No, not those kind of sites, people, good God! I meant watching anime and cartoons for free, you know, illegally. However, with Gundam, don't look too sharply on it, because trying to actually buy the DVDs is more painful than it is to go and watch it online. Trust me, I'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I went online, I watched the first several episodes, and I loved it. Sorry Millman, but I really do like Gundam Seed. It's a good show. Yeah, it's not the most realistic Gundam in the world. Yeah, its mech designs are quite out there. They've got various spikes and all kinds of bizarre bits going on with them. But I like it. It's got this charm to me that kind of reminds me of Armada. And not in a bad way. I mean, in the way that when you look up people's opinions of Gundam Seed, majority of people don't like it. Which is the same with Armada, really. The majority of people don't like it. But then there's this small group of people that really do. And I'm kind of like in that small group of people, both for Armada and Seed. And the animation's obviously completely better than Armada was, but I still get the same hints of animation cues here and there, which kind of give it a little spark, a little shine for me that I really love. So over the past next week, couple of days, I watched more and more of Gundam Seed. Watched all the way up to episode 8 or 9, I think. And I was loving it. It was brilliant. And so I thought to myself, you know what? Instead of watching this whole series online, I really want to watch it properly. I want to buy it on DVD and I want to sit down and watch it on a TV so I can enjoy it, A, with a larger screen, but B, in a much more comfortable environment. I mean, yes, I'm watching on a laptop so I can watch it anywhere, but it's not the same when you're sitting down on a comfy settee in front of a TV watching a piece of media. You get that feel of comfort, you get that feel of warmth and of security that you don't get while you're watching something on the internet. There's obviously reasons for that, but you know. So off I go to Amazon and eBay trying to hunt down Gundam Seed, and I come across it on Amazon, at least the first part of the series, the first 24 episodes. And I thought, yeah, this is really good. It's Anime Legends box set. It's got the first half of the season. What can I go wrong? It's 30 odd quid, which to me isn't that much. I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy it. Brought it. Waited nearly a month, actually over a month for it to come. And when it did, I was really excited because I hadn't been watching it for a month. I really wanted to just go back into the series and dig into it. And then I opened up the case and found that all of the Gundam Seed DVDs had actually been replaced by the first half of Gundam Seed Destiny, which, needless to say, I wasn't too pleased about. I was quite pissed off, to be honest. Luckily I got a refund, but that's not the point. I waited for a month for this DVD to finally come. Turns out, no, actually, there is a problem with the whole of this series of DVDs for Gundam Seed in the Anime Legends line. They've all got faults and problems with them. So even if you did buy another copy, you're probably not going to get it. So yeah, that was just fun. I kind of got so pissed off with that I left Gundam for a while. In the meantime, however, I had built my first Gundam, which I will show you a picture of right now. Yes, that is the nearly completed Hygog. As you can see, it's got stickers on, but it does need panel lining done to it. Now, I have got a Gundam marker. However, time and kind of my hesitation of using Gundam markers has meant that it's actually not got done. So Christmas is going to be fun for me because I'm going to be building Gundam and marking them. Yay. It's actually quite a good time. It'll be relaxing, so it's nice. However, I also ordered my second Gundam at the time because I really enjoyed building the first one, and the Hygog for me was a learning experience from start to finish. It taught me a lot of things about building Gundams, because some people may say they're just like building model kits, oh, what's so wrong with them? They're not really. They're different in the way that you have to approach them, mainly because they're already coloured. You have to be very careful about taking the plastic off the screws and trying to not mark it, which, yeah, if you have a closer look at the Hygog, which I might put some more pictures up at the end of this video, you'll see that there are areas where it could be improved, but the only way to do that is by going over it in paint, because it's permanently marked now. But hey, it was my first one, and I'm still pleased with how it turned out. And besides, once panel lining's done, it will look beautiful. So yeah, I ordered my second one, and because I was so loving Gundam Seed, I wanted to get something from Seed. Now, I don't know about you, but when I watch like a Gundam series, it's not really the main mechs, the mecha that interests me. It's not kind of the Strike Gundam or the Aegis or the Blitz, even though they are absolutely amazing designs. It's kind of the grunts. For Seed, it's the grunts. It's the Saigus. It's the Jins, the mobile Jins. They're just the kind of grunt soldiers that are produced huge amounts of, but they just have a charm to me. And so for that, I decided to go and pick up this, which is the mobile Saigu, the remastered version, which actually doesn't really do that much. It just changes a couple of the colours. However, I did then build that a couple of weeks once it arrived, because again, that takes a month. If you're going to order anything off Amazon, people, if you're thinking of getting into Gundam and you want to order something off Amazon, be warned that you're going to wait over a month for it to arrive, because they have to come from Japan, and I don't know, they're just really bad with shipping, I guess. And that's across the board. That's any Gundam you buy off Amazon. I'm not sure if it's the same anywhere else. Probably isn't. But then again, they're quite cheap on Amazon, so what the hell, I don't care. So yeah, I built the Saigu. That was a much more relaxed experience, because by this point I had got a much nicer set of tools to work with, thanks to Games Workshop, and I thoroughly enjoyed the process more. And I'm going to show you a picture now of what it looks like. And it isn't panel lined, but for me, looking at it, it looks beautiful as it is. I mean, I'm hesitant whether to panel line it or not, because I just love the look of it. Yeah, it doesn't really look like its animation appearance, but it's still beautiful in a way. So, and I'm really pleased with that, because at first glance, you look at it and you can't really see any of the minor faults in it. It's only if you get up close and go behind certain joints and certain panel lines that it actually comes true that I'm not the greatest Gundam builder in the world. Then again, it is my second, so what the hell. So yeah, I was off Seed for a while, I was off Gundam, meh. I went on to other things. A couple of months later, the November time, I was watching more reviews of Gundam online, and this certain series popped up to my attention. A series called, which I went, oh, what's this then? It looks like a Gundam series, but nothing that I've seen before. It's not in space, it's not really in a futuristic setting, it looks like it's set on Earth. What's this going on about? So I watched some reviews, and I watched the opening, and it really appealed to me. By the way, if you haven't seen the opening song or theme or whatever for the 8th Mobile Suit, go and look it up on YouTube, because it's fucking awesome. It is, oh, it's brilliant. Then again, I'm biased, so what the hell. So I watched more reviews, and I decided, you know what, it's a 12 episode OVA, it's not going to take me long to watch it. Let's watch it, I've got the time. And, what can I say about it? Well, I watched the first 2 episodes, I was blown away. I love it. I absolutely love it. In fact, you know, you've kind of won, Millman, because I like it more than Seed. What can I say? It is, for me, the single best piece of animation that I have seen in a long, long while. It is possibly my favourite ever piece of animation. It's just brilliant. Its characters are diverse, and throughout the course of the show they develop, and you really see, because the whole point of Gundam is war. It's basically war and how it affects people, and you see that from both sides of the conflicts, Federation and the Zeons. And with the 8th Mobile Suit, most particularly, you really see how war affects people and changes them. I mean, just look at the main character of the 8th Mobile Suit, what he goes through to the very end. There's a lot of... I don't want to spoil anything, even though it's like 20 years old, because it came out when I was born, so what the hell. But like, I really want more people to go and watch it and go and experience it, because it's fucking awesome. But yeah, the characters, The animation is beautiful because it came out in the 90s. It's not your typical 70s Gundam, which looks kind of a bit dated nowadays. I mean, I still enjoy it, but it kind of is a bit dated. Whereas this is kind of much... It's around the same time as, say, Evangelion. It's around that kind of time, and the animation is brilliant. It really is, to a high standard. I mean, it's Gundam anyway, but then this just adds on upon that. Oh, the mobile suits are also another thing that I have to talk about. Instead of being these super amazing prototype weapons that have like all this enormous power and huge amounts of energy and can do absolutely anything, can kill tens of thousands of people in one hit, they are just normal grunt suits. They will take damage against Zaku's. They will have to be repaired, you know. They aren't invincible. They will break, they will be destroyed, and they need repairs. And it will be much harder for a single unit to take down, say, another unit, because they're just grunt suits at the end of the day. But the whole point is you're focused on the team, the 8th MS team, Mobile Suit Team. And it's their characters that really push the show forward, and it's what you want to watch it for. And it's not just on the Earth side. They really focus a lot on the Zeon's side, the bad guys, if you will, who actually get a hell of a lot of development. I mean, yes, you've got this star-crossed lovers plotline, which is probably the only thing in the series that doesn't make it too realistic. Everything else is realistic as much as you can get for a Mobile Suit show. But the star-crossed lovers bit is a bit, I'm not sure if I believe that. However, I still like the way it was done. It's still implemented perfectly into the show. And the Zeons get incredible amounts of development, to the point where in one of the final episodes there's a fight between a Zeon in a certain type of suit, a certain blue suit. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. And you know the outcome of this fight. You know that maybe this Zeon isn't going to prevail against the MS team that you've been following all this time. Maybe he is. But the point is, because this character has been that well developed, before the fight, you want him to win. You know the outcome, but you want this character to survive and to win, even though you know it's not going to be possible. So you're rooting for essentially the bad guys. But then again, in Gundam there is no good and bad guys. It's very much grey. It's not black and white in any Gundam series. You have good and bad people on both sides of the conflict. And that is especially prevalent in the 8th Mobile Suit Team, where you get some shady characters on the Earth side, I'm telling you. The voice acting, the English dub, which is how I watched it, is beautiful, and I can't really fault it. Maybe the first couple of episodes are a bit where people are trying to get into their roles, but that's soon overcome. And yeah, the final episode, maybe it didn't really have to be there. People say that it could have ended an episode before, but I like it. I don't see the problem. I think it's not the greatest episode in terms of its plot, but it is the most emotional. It definitely has a huge emotional impact on the viewer by the end of the series, because there are certain things in there which, you know, if you follow the series up until now, you'd be happy to see. And that's the last thing I'm going to talk about with the 8th Mobile Suit, is that the emotional journey that I went on in that week, because it took me about a week to watch, the emotional journey that I went on was amazing. I've never experienced a show that has physically made me emotional for characters, fictional characters, before. I mean, this is how good of a show it is. And I'm going to stop talking about it because I could be here for a whole video praising and ranting and glorifying the 8th MS team for what it is. But at the end of the day, you need to go and watch it and you need to make your own opinions on it. And I hope you do. And I really hope people go and watch it. And please, if you do, I'd love to know what you thought of it. Because, it's awesome. Anyway, so the 8th Mobile Suit ended. I was kind of an emotional wreck by the end of it because it had been such a journey over that past week. And to be honest, it felt longer than a week, but it wasn't. And I was kind of in a void between shows. You know, you get that void when you've just watched such a great show, but then it ends and you don't know what to do next. And I was kind of in that area, that period. So I thought, you know what, I might as well go and watch something else. And so I trawled the internet looking for certain shows, certain animes, anything that will kind of kindle my interest. I mean, at this time, mecha was the big thing for me, so I was looking for mecha. And I kind of narrowed the list down to a couple of options. One of them was Code Geass, which I still definitely want to watch because it looks awesome. I will do in the new year. One of them was Gundam Wing, which is probably the most famous Gundam series for people who don't really know Gundam because it was aired. It was the first series to be aired in America on Cartoon Network, and so it's got like huge Western appeal. But that looks good. I will watch that in the new year again. I've got tons of stuff to catch up on. The other one was Full Metal Panic, which I'll watch eventually. I mean, they've just released that complete box set of it, so, you know, I will go and get that eventually, but it's £100, and I'm not really sure if I want to pay £100 for a DVD set. Then again, that's kind of nothing compared to what I've done later, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So eventually, I narrowed it down to one particular show. One show that is infamous among fans of anime and mecha in general. And in fact, it's infamous among anyone, really. You say the name and people go, ah, okay, or it's Neon Genesis Evangelion. I am talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion. Sorry, you didn't hear that? Oh, okay, it's... Yeah, I watched Evangelion, and that was only a couple of days after the 8th MS team, which in hindsight was a bad move, because by the end of Evangelion I got burnt out as hell, which is why I haven't watched anything since then. But yeah, so Evangelion then. So I watched the first 2 episodes. I thought it was good. I liked the 2 episodes. I watched the next one. I hated it. I absolutely hated the 3rd episode of Evangelion. I think it's the 3rd, yeah. Because nothing happened. It was just Shinji and his emotions and just being boring as hell and having no kind of development at all. And at that point I was ready to turn the show off and just give up. However, I'm so glad that I carried on, because Evangelion is one of those shows that you've got to give it time. Like a good cheese, it matures over time, to the point where, to the end of the series, it's really good storytelling. That's a weird analogy to make, but, you know, it's a weird day. So, after that really dismal 3rd episode, you get some really good episodes. Like, you get a Rei 2-parter, and then you get Oscar introduced, and then you get all these other big events that kind of build, and more stuff is revealed about the past, about the Avas, about Adam, about the angels, all sorts. So, if I was to sum up the series, because I know it's quite topical of a series, it's good. It's not the best ever anime that I've seen in the world. Neither is it the absolute worst. It's somewhere in the middle. It's a good show, you know. It's a show I would recommend you watching, like, sometime in your life, but don't go out and rush to try and watch it, because that's what I did, and it didn't ruin the experience, but it kind of changed my experience of the show if I'd have left it for maybe a week after watching 8th MS. But I'd say watch it, but at your own leisure. Like, watch it when you feel you're ready to watch it. And I think my view of it would have been higher if I hadn't have then watched the end of Evangelion after the series. Now, for me, the best episode of the series is one of the very last ones. In fact, it's the very last full animated episode, 20-something or other, where my favourite character appears, who's cough cough, maybe an angel, cough cough. You know who I'm talking about if you've seen the show. The point is, for me, the show ended on a really high note, because I didn't watch the last 2 episodes because I know how... Well, I tried to watch them and just kind of gave up because they're shit. Yeah, avoid the last 2 episodes if you're going to watch the series. But, like, the show ended on a high note for me. Then I watched the end of Evangelion, and the first half is good. It's what you'd expect from the series. The second half is where it kind of lost it for me. I don't know what it is about the final bit. I mean, it's not because it's overcomplicated, it's not that the story goes into some weird directions, which it does. It's not that it's just a mindfuck. I think it's more of the fact that the show changes so much in its tone and its direction at the second half of the movie that it just lost me. I mean, all of this time you're watching the series and you're building up a theme, you're building up a particular direction that the show is going into, and at the very second end of the first half of the end movie, I know it's a mouthful, that tone just completely derails and goes somewhere else. And it goes really heavily into science fantasy, which I'm not going to say I hate science fantasy. I like it in certain aspects, but I just don't think it worked with Evangelion. And also the ending is depressing as fuck. I mean, I know the writer was kind of depressed when he was writing it, but seriously, it's just, yeah, it's... And again, I know the show isn't the most happiest in the world, but it's just... It changes too much in tone for the end of it. And the ending is just obnoxious as anything. It just leaves it open and you're like, wow, that's the ending, is it? Okay. So, like, I would say watch the series, but kind of give a miss for the end of Evangelion. If you want to leave the show on a high note, at least. If you want to watch the whole thing, then watch it, but I wouldn't recommend it. So yeah, ironically really, is I do want to watch the rebuilds now, but I'm going to have to wait like a year because the burnt outness of Evangelion has just left me... I just don't want to watch it for a while. It's left me a dry taste in my mouth, to be honest. I really don't want to watch it. Ironically though, the day before I started watching it, the Saturday, I picked up a certain book, which I have heard a lot about. Now, Evangelion, the series, was in the 90s. However, the manga series also started in the 90s and has only just finished, I think a couple of years ago. So, I managed to find in a Waterstones the very first volume of the manga. This collects the first 3 volumes of Evangelion. And to be honest, the artwork looks amazing. And it's got coloured artwork in here, which is, look, I mean, colour in a manga book. And I really, really cannot wait to watch this, to read this. I'm going to watch it, I'm going to stare at it. However, as I said, that will probably be in the new year because I'm still a bit burnt out from Evangelion. But I've heard good things about the manga because it goes in a completely different direction to the anime does. And hopefully, with that kind of curve in the direction of storytelling, the ending will kind of make a bit more sense and be in a bit much more tone with the overall story. But, you know, I hold out judgment until I've actually read it. So yeah, I watched Evangelion and I haven't really watched anything since. However, I did purchase one more Gundam, which I still haven't built yet, because it only came the other day. Because that's how fucking reliable Amazon is, people. Please don't take that as that I hate Amazon. I don't. It's just when ordering Gundams, they take fucking forever. So because I love the 8th MS team, I had to go and pick up this. Because, you know, this is the suit from the 8th MS team. And I cannot wait to build this. This is your fault, Millman. This is your fault again. You fucking got me into Gundam, and now you've got me... Well, you haven't really got me into 8th MS team. But your review kind of prompted me to buy this, so yeah. And I think that is pretty much it. I haven't really done that much between then and now, with the exception of Christmas, because let's talk about Christmas. So I know exactly what I'm getting for Christmas, because, you know, I'm 20 years old. That's what happens, kids, when you grow up. Christmas kind of loses its charm and magic. Wow, that's fucking depressing as hell. Okay, whatever, just, it doesn't really, but whatever. So one of them is another Gundam. It's going to be my first master grade, which is the Strike, because it's Seed and I love Seed. And the other one is the complete Gundam Seed on DVD. Let me tell you about that. I spent high and low trying to find it on eBay in like the past couple of months. And it turned out that I did actually find the complete series in the individual volumes. However, it was American, which, you know, okay, it means I've got to use my multi-regional DVD player to use it, which the quality isn't the best on it, but it's still enjoyable to watch. But the problem is the price. Needless to say, it's in the it's not hundreds, is it? It's in the 100 mark, which, looking back on it in hindsight, is absolutely ridiculous to pay for a whole series of Gundam, but for me it's kind of worth it to be able to watch the series on a TV. So yeah, mate, I'm mad. You're probably thinking to yourselves that I'm absolutely nuts. I am nuts, whatever. But hey, you know, so yeah, they're the things that are coming for Christmas, and hopefully when I make a video in the new year for my overview of the year, you'll see those there. But again, watch it. If you're planning to watch Gundam, go and watch it online, people. Just, it's much easier. It really is. So the final thing to say is, one of my Christmas presents I brought early because I had money for Christmas, and what the hell, it was on offer. And everyone knows that I've got into Pokemon over the last year. However, I've always wanted to play them, and because the original games are being released on the Nintendo 3DS next year, I thought it was time I kind of delved into Nintendo's area, and so I picked up this. It's a red Nintendo DS, 3DS XL, God, I've got to make sure I don't say that wrong, with Pokemon Y in it. Now, this is pretty cool because I haven't played a Pokemon game in years. In fact, the last Pokemon game I ever played was the originals, and that was briefly, so it's been fucking ages. I have played some of this, and it's good. I really do like it. However, because I'm a Gen 1 fan, I've just kind of been collecting Gen 1 Pokemon, which is kind of not how you're supposed to play the game. But shush, I don't care. If I want a Pidgeot or like a Metapod as part of my roster, then I'm going to have them. So firstly, I have to apologise for that whole jump cut, and the fact that like the last part of this video has got incredibly dark because I was trying to film while the light was running out. Needless to say, Pokemon Y is really good. It's 3D. It's my first foray back into Pokemon games in what? Oh God, over 10 years. So it's just nice. There's a bit of nostalgia to it. And besides, I prefer Y because Yveltal, you know, he's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So apart from that, nothing real big has happened. One thing to talk about is the room has kind of changed. The collection is now a bit more presentable, shall I say. Here's what I mean, and I warn you beforehand, this video is kind of crap. It's like my head has got chopped off at the top, and it's kind of dark. But then again, if you've watched this far, you don't really care about videos being that dark and grisly because, hell, this video was. So, enjoy! So this is it! This is part of the collection. It's kind of some of the collection. It's like 3 glass shelves of the collection. There's more this way, I promise. This way. I'm doing a dance. Let's do a dance on camera. Yeah, that's weird. So yes, it's grown, as you can see. It's kind of in glass cabinets that make it look all lovely and fresh now. So yeah, if you want to know more about that, then post a comment below and I'll do this whole separate video showing off the collection. I mean, it's not all of it, it's most of it. There's bits around the room, but it's pretty cool now that it's in glass cabinets. So yeah, that's the collection. It's now all in lovely detailed cabinets, and the rest of it's kind of scattered around this room in similar to what it was before, but I've also got a new bookcase to put lovely books in, because reading's good, kids. Reading is good. So with that note, I will end this really overlong video. I really apologise, and I hope I can get it down in editing. Probably not, but then again, if you stuck around this long, you're a brave fellow indeed. You want to see me talking for over half an hour? Good God. Props to you, whoever you are. So yes, have a great Christmas, everyone. Enjoy the festive time. Enjoy being with family. Enjoy, obviously, the presents and getting new stuff. But it's not just about that, is it? So I will see you all just before New Year's Eve for my overview of the year, which I do every year, and my Christmas haul. So until then, Merry Christmas, everyone, and see you all soon. Or at least, hopefully not in another 3 months.